What are the Daniel, what the dang, go Daniel, oh, what the dang. Well, my name is certainly Blakk Rasta. I want to say thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you. This is the segment known as the Black Pot, aka Kuku Shudemo. And this is where we speak truth to power. I'm most excited to be with you. What else can I say? What else can I do but to just say thank you so much? I appreciate you. I love you. This is the segment known as the Black Pot, aka Kuku Shudemo. It's time to speak truth to power. We normally don't like to criticize, but if we must criticize, we only criticize to build and not to destroy. What are the Daniel, what are Daniel, how are the die? The name certainly Blakk Rasta. All right, and we go straight up into action. Now, my very first story is taken from My Joy Online, and this was published a couple of days ago, the 18th of May 2021 at 6:15 p.m. And it says, cancel Africa's dirt, rescue global financial architecture. Akufo-Addo attributed to saying this, or better still, credited for saying this. Cancel Africa's dirt. I read. President Nana Addo is calling for the restructuring of the global financial architecture so it can respond better to the needs of Africa, as well as the cancellation of debts owed by African countries in the wake of COVID-19. Taking his turn to address the summit on financing African economies in Paris, France, on Tuesday, the 18th of May 2020, President Akufo-Addo noted that the Bretton Woods Conference, which took place as World War II drew to a close, created a global financial architecture which over the last 77 years has proven to be unfavorable for Africa. According to the president, the economies of Europe, America, and Asia having grown significantly during the time, whilst those of Africa have not, attributing collateral damage from the Cold War, inequity in the global economic system, and economic relationship built on power and resource grab, as well as leadership and governance issues on the African continent as issues confronting the continent. These challenges have resulted in a global economic system that has proven to be incapable of supporting lives and livelihoods and allocating sufficient long-term resources to support Africa's economic transformation. My brother, long and short of it all, our president, Nana Akufo-Addo, was in France at the Bretton Woods Conference, and when he got his turn to speak, he begged the rest of the world to cancel Africa's dirt. Not only Ghana, but the rest of Africa. And what was the reason he gave? COVID-19. My brother, my sister, this is a dastardly, cowardly act. Very, very disgraceful for anybody who owes another person to go asking for debt cancellation. A responsible thing to do is to ask for time to pay. You are most irresponsible if you walk up to your debtor and tell him that, listen, I am unable to pay you, cancel the debt. That is most irresponsible. The least to say. I owe you money, and I come over to you and tell you that, listen, cancel the debt because I am going through suffering. suffering that every other nation is going through. Which country has not been hit by COVID-19? I thought Nana Addo boasted that Ghana has been able to contain COVID-19 to the applause of the whole world. If we did, why are we running over to the Bretton Woods conference and begging the rest of the world, my brother, my sister, so dastardly and so cowardly, to cancel our debt? How many people are following? My brother, my sister, all I'm saying is this. Nana Addo, His Excellency the President of Ghana, who boasted a few months ago that Africa is beyond aid and that Ghana is beyond aid, has run with his tail in between his legs so cowardly and so shamelessly to the same country whose prime minister visited us here, France, swallowed back his vomit like the proverbial dog in the Psalms and the book of Proverbs. My brother, my sister, I am so angry and mad. You see that where our leaders become so irresponsibly cowardly, so shamelessly cowardly. How can you go about borrowing? You borrow without sense, no common sense. You keep borrowing and doing stupid things with the money. Then at the end of the day, when it comes for you to pay, you go with your tail between your legs and go begging for debt cancellation. Hallelujah. Irresponsible behavior. You boasted before the same French prime minister, my brother, my sister, that Africa is beyond aid and that Ghana is beyond aid. And you brought up your long histories, my brother, my sister, to buttress the point you were making. Many of us jumped to your support. Many of us jumped and joined the rank and file of the Africa beyond aid, Ghana beyond aid. My brother, my sister, year of return, brilliant idea. At the end of the day, our so-called Pan-Africanist president is nothing but a cowardly, shameless president. I choose my words so carefully, and they will never be withdrawn. Listen, it is a very irresponsible man who would go about borrowing and has no plan to pay. When the time comes for you to pay, you go asking for debt cancellation, not even extension to pay. My father taught me never to borrow if I could. Borrowing should be the last option. And when I borrow, I have to make sure that I pay before time or on time. If I will not be able to pay on time or before time, borrowing is not an option. Now, when you borrow money, you become a slave to the man who lent you the money, true or false. Now, if you can't borrow money from me, and we live in the same neighborhood, my brother, my sister, when I come out misbehaving one morning, can you come out and talk against my misbehavior? You can't, because you owe me money. You become a slave as a borrower. And this country, they have succeeded in making us slaves to these people all this while. My brother, my sister, President is talking about the Cold War in his lengthy, irrelevant, cowardly speech. What did Mr. President say? Was it not the same Cold War that brought us troubles right here in Ghana? And Nana Addo's ancestors thought that Kwame Nkrumah was the most useless dictator on earth. And for that matter, they should kick him out. Today, the same Nana Addo is standing on the Cold War and COVID-19 and asking for debt relief. I, Blakk Rasta, when I borrow money from people, I never even accept it when they say, oh, keep it. No, I will never keep it. If I ever borrow, which I don't do, but if I do borrow, I never take back the money. I make sure that I pay on time or before time. And when I'm paying back, what I would hate most is, oh, it's okay, just keep it. No, it's not okay. If you want to give me money, take this one. I borrowed it. I did not ask for free money. Principle is principle. Common sense is common sense. But if you have a president, old, 77-year-old sleepy president, my brother, my sister, I won't be surprised if at the Bretton Woods conference, he slept all through. Because when men reach that age, their best friend is the bed. Mr. President says that they should free Africa of its dirt. Please speak for yourself. Don't speak for Rwanda. Don't speak for South Africa. Don't speak for Algeria. Don't speak for Morocco. Speak for the country that you have pushed into so much dirt, so cowardly and so shamelessly. How many people are following? My brother, why do you make us so much irrelevant and so worthless? You make all of us in this country non-entities. Imagine a man comes to borrow something from you, and when the time is up to pay, instead of coming to explain to you that he's unable to pay, give him the chance to pay in a week's time or in 2 weeks' time. He comes to tell you, cancel the debt because I was sick. And because I was sick, I won't be able to pay you, so cancel the debt. What language is that? On what planet is this language spoken? Is it one of the languages spoken on earth? Certainly not. This is a language that is spoken probably on Mars, on Venus, maybe even on Jupiter, not on earth. People with common sense don't talk like that. And I'm so angry, I told you. Be responsible with your borrowing. And to add insults to injury, my brother, my sister, our president has gone out to borrow money again. And this time, how much money has he borrowed? Over 170 something million euro. And what are they using the money for? They are going to build a bank, a development bank. After spending so much money to collapse all these banks that we had, Mr. President has the effrontery to go out there again and borrow money to come, my brother, my sister, to establish another bank. When the time comes to pay, he will run back and tell them, oh, cancel the debt. If you are a true patriot, if you love Ghana and love Africa, don't encourage cowardly languages like this. Be responsible. When you borrow, pay. If you can, don't borrow at all. Go through a little bit of hardship. Some people have not been trained to go through hardship. They don't know what it means to fast. They don't know what it means to allow themselves to go through some pain in order to gain. They have forgotten so soon that where there is no pain, there is no gain. They were born with golden spoons in their mouths, not even silver spoons. For that matter, all they know to do is to eat and drink. When the food runs out, they are in trouble. They are like fishes out of water. Most uncomfortable. But those of us who were born in the ghetto, those of us who fasted and still fast, lack of food and lack of water is not a threat to us, because we have trained ourselves to go hungry and to go thirsty in order to swim in pools of water and food in the nearest future. How many people are understanding this? Somebody will not understand until after lunch. Somebody will not understand until he has supper tonight. Now, my brother, my sister, Mr. President is disgracing us. It's time to impeach this president. It's time. In Ghana, can we impeach a president? How do we impeach a president? Which African president has ever been impeached? A club of old, sickly, dying dictators all over Africa. Can you dare impeach any one of them? The only impeachment they know is death when they die. Most of them of stroke and other such ones that they alone get because of their stealing and their wickedness. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's not be frightened by all sickly dying men. Let's not be frightened by whatever they can do to us. Let's look at what we can do for ourselves and for our motherland. That's most important. Long and short of it all, Mr. President is gallivanting and globetrotting, begging that our debts should be cancelled, not even given an opportunity, a business opportunity to pay. My father trained me to pay all my debts. In fact, when I borrowed some money some time ago, I think I was like 16 years. Why did I borrow that money? There was no need. But I did go to borrow that money. And when it was time to pay, I started to play hide and seek with this other friend that I took the money from. My father said, listen, I could give you the money to go pay, but I want you to be responsible. You must work and make that money and pay. Follow me here. He took me to a garage. That day, I became the chief mechanic. Tightened a lot of screws. Fastened a lot of bolts. My hands were all black and shaking with heat and fire. 3 solid days, I worked to get that little money at 16 to pay whoever it was. And he told me, if you can't pay, don't borrow. Borrowing should be the last option. How many people go borrowing money and every year banks are chasing them to take money from their account? Even though they earn 5,000 Ghana cedis, their take home at the end of it all is a meager 800 Ghana cedis because they love loans. And a lot of people take these loans to blow away like Mr. President is doing. Blow away carelessly. You are building a bank after collapsing how many banks? It's the same foolishness that is happening on the field, Galamsey field, my brother, my sister. Same foolishness. They go out there and then they pick up excavators and burn all of them. In 4 months, they will go to China and say they are importing excavators. The same excavators that they burnt. I heard the Minister of Defense say, oh, at Tiwa Forest alone, they burnt 700 excavators, and he's proud. You are proud that you burnt 700 excavators. My God have mercy. If you are seizing them, why don't you seize them to the state? And I hear some arguments like, oh, when they seize them, they will finally go back to the owners of the thing. That means you are most corrupt. My brother, my brother, my brother, let's call a spade a spade. Let the institutions work. It's only a silly nation that cannot keep to its laws. It is only a silly nation, a banana republic, better still a plantain republic, better still a cassava republic, my brother, my sister, that cannot abide by its own laws. You promulgated these laws, swore to yourselves that you abide by them. Today your institutions are nothing but fleeting illusions. In fact, let me repeat it. Your institutions are now illusions. They are not white elephants. They have gone beyond white elephants. They are illusions. And for that matter, your laws don't work. Greed, bribery, stealing, foolishness. That's what is around us. My brother, my sister. Honesty. No honest man has ever regretted honesty. No true honest man has ever failed in life. Greedy people, show me one greedy person who has succeeded in life. Show me one thief who has succeeded in life. They might seem to be succeeding, but they are gradually putting their heads in a noose. Soon the noose will tighten and they would have the last scream and the rest is history. Is that prosperity? Think about it, my brother. Come to the bargain table. Let's reason it out together. Why is Mr. President going around borrowing? I thought Baayawa and all those people said that we had so much money and there was no need to borrow. When the president was saying all these things, did you not all clap? Now you are those following him and pushing him on to go around borrowing. Who respects a borrowing nation? My brother, my sister, every Ghanaian knows that, hey, when you go to borrow, first and foremost, you must demean yourself. No borrower ever goes hitting his chest and said, I am coming. Open up the way. I'm coming so majestically in my palanquin. I am the king and I'm coming to borrow. You will be an asshole. You know what you do? You go like a rat that has fallen in water and is cold. All your airs are broken. In fact, when some people are even going to borrow, they don't wear their best clothes. Because the person you are borrowing from probably does not even wear the expensive things that you wear, like our president is doing. All your ministers are driving V8. You go to a country where people are riding bicycles. The prime minister is riding a bicycle day in and day out. You and your ministers are in air-conditioned V8 cars. Then you go there and you are asking for debt release. What a shame. What a paradox. I'm talking to the youth. You see? You guys say all old men are wise. You see every old man as wise. Change your mind. Start thinking twice. Some old men are assholes. Some old men are thieves. Some old men have no brains at all. Think about it deeply. We are not mentioning names. It's reality we are talking to you. And this reality must hit you now. Don't wait until you are 70. Don't wait. Time to act is now. Time to act is now. You wear all the expensive things. Walking around all over. My brother, my sister. Borrowed glory. Pay. Now you say, oh, you know what? Cancel our debt because COVID-19 COVIDized us. Which country did not experience COVID-19? You are a coward. You are shameless. You are a coward. A big coward and shameless on top. Everybody suffered from COVID-19. Then you go using COVID-19 as an excuse for your debt, my brother, my sister, to be cancelled. Shall we impeach you or not? You are impeachable. You must go home and continue sleeping. You have let this country down. You have let this country down. My brother, my sister, I'm still waiting for America to borrow from China, and China says, oh, debt relief, take it. It's okay. We have canceled your debt. America would say, why? I told you before. I go to America, my brother, my sister. I take a young lady out. We go out and we have drinks together. And when the bill comes, she wants to know her own bill and pay for her own drink. And if I insist to pay, she looks at me and says, why do you want to pay? I can pay for my own drink. Not here in Ghana. Our presidents and leaders have trained us to be so irresponsible. So irresponsible. We borrow and we must not pay. We should ask for debt relief. Think about it, my brother, my sister. My professor, Professor Albion Mens III of the University of Central Missouri, told me one thing, Blakk Rasta. He told me, you know what, Blakk Rasta? If you want to keep a Ghanaian away from you for disturbing you night and day, you want to get rid of him permanently, loan him money. Why? Is that how you want to be described? Loan the Ghanaian some money. You won't see him again till the next time Jesus Christ returns. That's if you return to Ghana at all. My brother, my sister, if you want to see the Ghanaian off your radar for life, loan him some money. You will never see his shadow again. But this generation is breeding some new greedier people. they will still come back to you in a worse situation, explaining to you why they could not pay and why they want a new one. True or false? You owe me money. You were supposed to pay today. You didn't pay. 5 years later, you come to me in a worse situation. That, oh, you couldn't pay 5 years ago because your auntie died. Your daughter was going to get married and you had to look for money to go and pay for a wedding, whatever. And then your auntie also died. Even your grandfather, the old man who was in the village there catching fish, he also died. Oh. And yes, and even you yourself, you almost died. It's God who saved me. Oh. So forgive me. Oh. And you are quietly looking at this person. 5 years ago, he was supposed to pay, didn't pay. He has come with 7 obituaries. His grandfather, his uncle, his auntie, his sister, his cousin. 5, 6, 7 people died. He gives you the obituaries. Then you are waiting to hear what he will say next. Hoping that he will say, so give me time to pay. Even after 5 years. But no, he's coming for a new one. I'll leave it here. It's sad in this country, my brother, my sister, and we have to change things. I'm reading this from City Newsroom, and it says, Akufo-Addo lacks political will to purge and restructure national security. And this is attributed to Sam George's utterances. He says, so I read, National Democratic Congress NDC Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram Pram, Samuel Nete George, a.k.a. Jata, has criticized President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo over what he says is his lack of political will to make structural changes to the country's national security setup. The MP says the failure of Nana Akufo-Addo to implement recommendations of the Emil Short Commission of Inquiry report clearly puts into question the president's commitment to rid the national security of undesired elements. Some George's criticisms come after the recent assault on City FM and City TV journalists Caleb Kuda by national security operatives and the invasion of the station's premises by armed personnel. Speaking on the point of view on Wednesday, Mr. George maintained that until the president and his administration take bold steps to review the operations of the national security, the outfit's personnel will continue to be emboldened to attack citizens and infringe on their fundamental rights. My brother, this could be true. We all heard about the invisible demons. Sorry, invisible, what is it, characters? Invisible forces, yes. We all heard about the invisible demons, invisible forces. We saw how they broke into a courthouse and rescued a man who was on trial under Nana Akufo-Addo. And invisible forces had the president's party in sympathy. You know what that means? It simply means they are sympathizers. In fact, lock, stock, and barrel of Nana Addo. Now they have gone haywire. Illiterates are in the national security. Bearded people who look like Al-Qaeda are all in the national security. My brother, my sister, right now, the easiest way to pass as a terrorist in this country is to say you are from the national security. Even if you have one leg, you are national security. We also have the Emil Short Commission, commissioned by the president himself and the nation, brought out recommendations in an inquiry. And what happened? Mr. President asked his information minister to throw it away and call it useless. We all saw how Oponkruma on TV told all Ghanaians that we cannot accept this, we cannot accept this, we cannot accept that, we cannot accept this recommendation. And for that matter, the inquiry that we paid for as Ghanaians became a useless piece of paper. Now we here in Kumasi, there is another Arnold Schwarzenegger style of attack on another security person there. They kicked him out, handcuffed him in an Arnold Schwarzenegger style because it has grown beyond the Rambo style. Any terrorist tells you it's from the national security. Terrorize you, beat you up. And then at the end of the day, nothing happens. Sam George himself took slaps, hard slaps, that caused him to pass wind. He broke wind when he was slapped 2 times. To those of you who don't know what it means to break wind, find out what it is. 2 hard slaps. He said when he got those slaps, he broke wind immediately because he had never been slapped this hard. The hands of the national security guy were as hot and solid and thick like timber. Boom! He passed wind. Boom! He passed wind again. We all saw that on TV, didn't you? It's good Sam George did not try to fight this man. He would have been turned into wind. He broke wind, right? Now you would have been turned into wind. Why? We voted into power to terrorize us. After slapping Sam George, what happened to that guy? Nothing. He's walking around slapping more people. And you claim that this is a democratic country. They empower all those people so that they can continue to stay in power. All dictators do that. They empower the army, especially to protect them and not the people. Listen again. All dictators empower the army to protect them and not the people. In fact, to protect them against the people. They beat and slap the people, kill the people, nothing happens. Their loyalty is only to the president. To God be the glory. We leave it here. Okay. Kweku Bakun gives thumbs up to Caleb's secret filming. And this I'm reading from Peace FM online. And it says, I'm taking only the first 2 paragraphs. Editor-in-chief of the new crusading guide, Kweku Bakun, has supported City FM's broadcast journalist, Caleb Kuda, for filming at the premises of the National Security Ministry. The journalist was arrested for filming at a restricted security zone, and together with another journalist working with City FM named Zoe Abubeidu, was sent to the National Security Ministry for interrogation. When you read further, Kweku Bakun says that he supports Anas Armiya Anas's work, and he will be a hypocrite if he doesn't support this. But the difference is this. Anas Armiya Anas doesn't go filming at places that are restricted. In fact, are Ghanaians thinking about our security? You see, when I first mentioned this thing, many were those who said, oh, Blakk Rasta is again talking trash. You know, when we are talking to stupid people, they see everything you say as trash. But when you talk to people who have a clean mind, unbiased mind, they are able to read between the lines and know that you're giving them nothing but wisdom. That is why Jesus Christ, when he spoke to the people, he spoke in parables. And what did he tell them? The words I speak to you are a spirit. He told them, are you stupid enough and foolish enough not to understand these common things that I speak to you? Did Jesus say that or not? To his own disciples. When we speak, we go straight down to earth. But there are some people whose minds are full of kerosene. Some people don't have brains in their head. They have only kerosene. Some of them even have dirty oil in their heads, so they can't think. My brother, Anas Armiyahu Anas, in the interest of the public, goes out filming people who are doing evil. This is national security. It is a place that is supposed to protect us. Granted, we have a security boss who goes around flirting, my brother, my sister, on national assignments. And a security boss, and he's still at post because Mr. President doesn't care. He doesn't give a rat's backside. The man is still there. I've forgotten his name. But you all know who I'm talking about. The man who was modeling in front of a slave queen's camera. He's still at post. My brother, my sister, is it not an insult to the people of Ghana? You are on a national assignment. You are supposed to have only the nation right there in your head. Then you go and you are flaunting your libido, your libidinous attitude, uncontrolled libido. You go hopping in a slave queen's whatever. It comes out. Everybody's talking about it in the whole country. Mr. President didn't hear it. He was sleeping. After all, they both played hockey when they were 20 years. Now that they are approaching 80 years, 60-year-old relationship, no way. Still be in power. After all, Ghanaians are not angry enough. They wouldn't mind you. You think if this has happened in England, in America, in Japan, even in China, or South Africa, or Morocco, or Algeria, this man will still be in power? Granted, my brother, my sister, it's boldly written on the wall, no photography. Journalist goes, and according to the national security and the false pretenses, he goes there and he films. For about 24 minutes or so, or is it 13 minutes, he's still filming and talking before the national security gets to know. My brother, my sister. And then when he's caught, oh, I was doing secret filming. I'm a journalist. But when you came here, you did not identify yourself as such. Oh, but I'm a journalist. This, what I'm doing is accepted. It's called secret filming. Oh, Jesus. Why? We all want the country to move forward. I love investigative journalists, those who go undercover and do their things. But please, the nation's interest first. It says national security. You don't go breaking bounds and taking pictures and photographs at an institution that is supposed to be protecting all of us. When I said this, many people thought that, oh, Blakk Rasta, solidarize with your fellow journalists. Of course I do. The beating him up, the kicking him in the groin, and all those things I condemn 100%. But I also condemn going into a security protected place with a clear sign on the wall, no photography. You go flaunting your camera. We are all at risk. Imagine Al Qaeda had laid hands on this. It doesn't matter which portion of the national security was filmed. Anything could happen. Technology has grown to a point you only need one click of the camera and the whole country is on fire. True or false? Until yesterday, my brother, my sister, when Elizabeth Ohene, Madam Elizabeth Ohene, I hope I got her name right, my brother, my sister, came out boldly and told the whole Ghana, why? What kind of journalism is this? Secret filming should be the last option. When you realize that there were cars parked there at the national security, why did you not speak to Maslock to say that this is what I've found? I want to go there and film those things. No, you didn't. You didn't speak to national security. This is what I found. I want to come there and film. After all, Manasseh said he got the permission to go in there and film after speaking with Maslock. But Caleb did not do that. He went straight and filmed it. Secret filming became the first option. Of course, I know we live in a very terrible country. If you had even told them, listen, I'm coming to film, they would have found a way of taking away all the cars. But at least you would have succeeded in getting them take out the cars. Wherever they are taking the cars to, we shall all see one after the other how the cars are leaving the national security. Does it make sense? My brother, my sister. So for Kweku Baakun, with all respect, I love him, to say that thumbs up, I have a problem. Anas doesn't go filming national security apparatus. I'll leave it here. Honor. My brother, my sister, I'm going to close now. And I'm taking this one from my Joy Online. What does it say? All 44 colleges of education threatened to shut down by end of May over lack of funds. Published today at 12:22 p.m. I read. Principals of colleges of education across Ghana have threatened to shut down the schools by the end of May if the government does not release funds for the maintenance of students' stay on campus. All 44 colleges of education in Ghana could be affected as management of the schools says they have not been paid feeding grants since the start of the academic year in January. There's a slight grammatical slip there. We'll ignore that. President of the Conference of Principals of Colleges of Education, Emmanuel Nyamiche, in an exclusive interview with Joy News' Fred Smith, said the only option available to them is for the students to go home. If nothing is done, and in the next couple of weeks, we may be compelled to ask our students to go home and shut down the school. Congratulations. Free SHS. Free water. Free electricity. Remember the good old saying, there is nothing like free lunch. How many of you remember that saying? When a man comes to you and says, oh, I'm taking you to lunch. Yeah, free lunch. My brother, my sister, open your eye. The Nigerian would say, shine your eye. Schools are going to close down because no money. Remember, they had to postpone the opening of the SSS. Now they call it SHS. For lack of logistics, including funds. So what did you give Nana Addo 4 more years for? The free SHS is in limbo. Now it has even graduated to these ones, 44 colleges of education. What's up? What's up? What's up? 4 more for Nana Abi. 4 more for Nana. 4 more for Nana. Yo, keep it like that. I bless you. Now, I'm going to tackle the very last thing and I'm done.